Israel is on a rampage on the Middle East, and I wouldn't say unprecedented, because that's what the news, that's the feeling you get if you just watch the news, or if you never paid much attention to Middle East affairs. But there are no doubts now. All the masks of the values of the Western countries. I mean, if you, I got difficult in finding the words, because it's saying much of the same. But when you think it's reached the bottom, it goes even lower, right? It's this kind of thing. When you think they can't do any worse, they do even worse, right? So, and of course, all this sponsored by the West, by people who must be psychopathic, the least. Israel resorting to terrorist attacks. That was the first phase of the offensive in Lebanon. Israel declaring, and mainly for internal consumption, that Lebanon is a non-country and they are entitled to at least a part of it. They're assuming it. Where are the little flags of the same people that put little Ukrainian flags on their profile? Where are the Lebanese flags now? Or the Palestinian flags, of course. I mean, I'm talking about Lebanon because that's the latest, right? And Netanyahu even has the nerve. Let me put it this way. I'm not much into that idea, that dichotomy of just good and evil and nothing in the between. But of course, every rule has an exception. And when you look, listen, and see what Netanyahu does, is pure evil. Pure evil. No other way to describe it. I mean, he goes on TV stating that he even tries to portray himself as someone who's helping you. I'm warning you. I'm telling you. Just you have a missile in your living room. Leave your house if you have a missile in your living room or in your basement. I told you, you will have no house if you do this. I'm benevolent enough to. And they even go the cheap propaganda that they got us used to it already. Very shitty one, because it's hard to hide their crimes, right? To sketch in a computer an image of a 3D lines, like a transparent building where you can see inside, like residential buildings, and then you see missiles exactly like the size of a floor, just painted in red inside, like they scanned it with X-ray through the walls, and they see, oh, there's a missile laying there. It's what is this, right? What is this? It's the West is going through a very dark path. It's choosing it's far from being the beacon of hope that once was. At some point, I know, with all the colonialism in the middle, but there was a time where there were genuine revolutions, there were trends of thought, thinkers, ideas, progressive ideas that moved people, and there were also things that happened like World War II, and that planted the seed in generations to come that something like that should never ever happen again. And here we are, walking happily with a smile into a slaughter, while we keep listening to this Orwellian speech from the Americans, from the Israelis, from the Europeans, leadership, I mean. And so the next phase of Israel, and I am convinced of this, that there is an invasion. The story that they accused Russia of, like the Tsar, the imperial Tsar restoring the empire of Russia, all of that is bullshit. All of that is bullshit. Period. I mean, if you believe that, God have mercy on your soul. Because this is actually, you can apply that to Israel, because Israel is set on a war of conquest in Gaza, in the West Bank, and in Lebanon. The first wave of real territorial expansion of modern days. But Russia invaded Ukraine. No, there would be no Russia in Ukraine if there were no NATO in Ukraine in the first place. So it has nothing to do with that. Cut the bullshit. It's like, it's either you choose to educate yourself or you choose to be a moron. Which one it is? I don't know. I mean, today I'm a little bit bitter. Sorry about that, but it's a little bit too much to bear when you see how things are faring in the geopolitical scene. I mean, Israel with the green card, the Americans even sent troops there, the British sent troops there. I don't mean maybe not there, but they are in the vicinities. American ships, American Marines, British troops in Cyprus, for example. And they're actually all the violence that will come to Israel, or that comes to Israel, or that will come to the United States and their interests abroad. All this violence is only their fault. Because if you study each case, each intervention, there is no country that did not develop into chaos with the intervention of the likes of the coalition led by the US. No country. So, and this, of course, this brews resentment. They keep repeating Hezbollah. This is nothing to do with the Lebanese people. Hezbollah. I've talked about Hezbollah before. It's actually a respectable group. They painted like some maniacs that will just kill and explode in the middle of people. No, it's Hezbollah exists, Hamas exists, due to only one reason: Israel's violence. And that's it. Hezbollah has found fertile ground to develop in Lebanon due to Israel destabilization. It's actually the hope of living over there. So but the thing is that they just go on the news, Netanyahu, oh, they're terrorists over there, using the population as human shield, so we have no choice. And just in one strike they kill 500 people. 500. Let that sink in. You, Mr. Bush, a believer. I know I keep talking to you, and you might not be the one who thinks this way. But yeah, and at the same time, Zelensky keeps pursuing escalation, keeps trying to drag NATO. I mean, maybe I'm not being fair with Zelensky, right? He went to Washington, laid down his peace plan. Again, double-speak, Orwellian language. Ministry of Love. If you read 1984, Ministry of Love, what did they do? Torture. So, the peace plan is just augmentation of this war. That's what it is. It's double-speak. But of course, Zelensky does this, and the narratives on both sides say that Zelensky is trying to drag NATO into war. But NATO, I mean, the West was the one, the Western entities and the Western powers were the ones that put Zelensky there in the first place. Right? He's their puppet. So I don't know if he has any life of his own, autonomy to go and seek, oh, let me try and bring NATO, otherwise I'm screwed. He's screwed anyway, but if he has a little bit of intelligence, he must have realized that by now. So I guess what he's doing now is just doing this propaganda, trying to convince the Western public to accept this reality of another, a bigger, far more dangerous step to escalation. And then again, it's funny how they keep discussing missiles against Russia and calling it a peace plan. A peace plan. Killing more Ukrainians. Okay, what does your peace plan involve? Let's see. So we have 500,000 more Ukrainians die, and Ukrainian infrastructure completely blown up, economy completely destroyed, razed, Russians gaining territory. That sounds good, like a peace plan. Let's kill more civilians on the other side of the border, see if it makes it better. It's a little bit too much. And of course, all of this creates political turmoil, creates political movements, because all of this help to Ukraine and Israel puts a strain on the economy. In the case of Ukraine, it has to do also with cutting back on Russian imports due to sanctions. Creates social unrest, and then comes the likes of this right-wing populists, and it's a big confusion in the speech, in the national debates. But it's clearly that whenever these new parties arise or gain strength, we see in which spectrum the powers that be, like the likes of John Mitchell, Miss Ursula von der Leyen, are on the side of. And it's NAZIs. NAZIs. You see Germany, the police violently suppresses children manifesting because they hold Palestinian flags, and they protect neo-Nazis from the crowd. In England, we saw the same. Speeches emerge about trying to connect communism to fascism in an aberrant, artificial way. People read a couple of lines written by some wacko, some theory, and then, oh yeah, this must be it. How come I haven't seen it before? So yeah, I believe we are going towards the path of fascism in the Orwellian style. There, I said it. You have this appearance of hope and freedom of choice, and this trust in the system that no, we are different, we are better. But it is not like that. It doesn't exist. Okay, guys, it's going to be a short one. I hope I see you on the next one. Pretty soon I'm gonna have some new things to share with you. I hope you stand by.